Hey guys, welcome on into the show. This is Josh coming to you from the Cards Companion page. First and foremost, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching in from. I hope everyone had a nice derby. I hope you all made a whole lot of money and you all had a great time down at the track. I know weather was a little dicey, but hope you all had a good one. Fun show we're gonna do today. Pretty fun little show. This is just gonna kind of be our portal recap, okay? Specifically for the spring session. With that being said, mainly just kind of want to highlight who'd we lose, who'd we gain, getting like into the semantics of it, how they fit in. Brother, you're in the dog days right now. We got 4 more months to talk about that, so let's give that a little bit of time. But as of now, we're just going to talk a little bit about the guys we've lost, the guys we gained, where we stand. Yeah, so fun little show. Going to be an easy one. So yeah, first guy we're going to talk about that we lost, Isaiah Cummings, who's a tight end. It's one of those ones, he was a guy he transferred in back in 24. He was probably second string tight end right before the transfer, is what I would argue. Honestly, I wouldn't say he's a huge loss. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Isaiah. It's just, we never really saw that much materialize what we thought we would see from him on the field. He played a lot of special teams, which I'll give the kid credit for. That's amazing. We love our special teams guys, but like in a tight end role, we didn't see him a whole lot. He was a little bit on the older side, also, if I'm not mistaken. And Louisville brought in a lot of younger guys to replace that older mentality. It's not one I'm super upset about. He committed to App State about probably 2 weeks after he entered the portal. It's not like this was a guy that was going to, really getting looked at from the Power 4 level. So wish the kid the best of luck. But yeah, that's our first one that we lost. The next one we're going to talk about, that's going to be Demon Clowney, old Demon Clowney. So Demon, he transferred in during the winter session, and it was one that a lot of people were really excited about. He had some really nice stats over at Coastal Carolina. He had great measurables. Obviously, he has the pedigree inside of his family to kind of back up his game, if you believe in that or not. But the Derby was just the other day. I'm in a horse racing mood, so pedigree's everything. But yeah, he left before the spring game even played. Before we even played that, before we even got rosters, he left the program. From what we were hearing just inside of the program and around the program, his spring ball wasn't exactly going great. Okay. And that's not a knock on the kid either. Just, he was mainly seen as a very, very fringe rotational guy at that. So, it's one of those things. I don't think he was going to play very much next year. He obviously didn't think that as well. And he committed to South Carolina probably about a week in. And kind of again, these conversations, I say this a lot. I don't mean to sound mean. I say that a lot, but I'm going to say it again here. If his last name wasn't Clowney, I don't think he'd be going to South Carolina or another SEC team or another Big Ten team. You know what I mean? So I just, best of luck to the kid. I hope it works out somewhere else, but it wasn't going to work here. It's just not a very good spring, and there it is. So quick in and out. Hope you enjoyed your 4 month, 3 month stay in Louisville. Next guy we got, we're going to talk about another Louisville guy, JoJo Stone. So this is one that I know hurt a lot of people when he left. Man, I don't. It's one of those. It's hard. I don't know really where to start. It's kind of like that Pierce Clarkson conversation we had a few months ago. He was a really big high school commit. Flipped him from LSU. Flipped him on the day of a Kentucky game in Jeff's first season. Big time thing. Was a 4-star kid. He was awesome. But there were some major red flags during that high school recruitment, primarily with his health. He suffered a horrendous lower body injury, I believe his junior season of high school, and never fully recovered from that. And we dealt with those issues here at Louisville. And yeah, it just before the additions in the spring portal, the wide receiver room was seen as down, and he wasn't showing out in a down wide receiver room. He saw 2 targets in the entire spring game. I don't think he was going to do a lot here. I wish the kid best of luck. And injuries, that happens, man. Injuries suck, and they have long-term effects. And I think you're seeing that. Honestly, he's still uncommitted. I believe today is Derby Day. It's May 4th. And I don't, he hasn't, he's been in the portal for about 3 weeks, and I've seen absolutely nothing about him. I think this is a guy that you're looking at like low level G5 and maybe even, the D3, D2 level, or, HBCU, something like that. But I wish him the best of luck, and, just injuries, they suck. They suck. Next guy we're going to talk about, Austin Collins. Really a guy. He's played a lot of football at U of L, and he's played at a lot of different positions. He's played center, he's played guard, he's even played a little bit of tackle here and there. Really reliable for us. Was always graded decently PFF. Played a lot of football. Again, I'm not going to say that again. Played a lot of football. But from what we were hearing just around the program, at the Cards Companion, what we heard from our guys was that he was kind of getting passed up in the rotations by some of the guys that we brought in during the winter session. They tried doing a little bit more guard play with him, and it wasn't a situation he wanted to be in. I believe he is a redshirt senior, if I'm not mistaken. He wants to play a lot of footballs last year, and rotational snaps at best are not what he's looking for. Great guy. Everything I've ever heard about him, awesome guy. Really good football player. Just wanted to play a little bit more, and I think Louisville kind of really upgraded that room, especially at the guard position in the winter portal. And this is what happens. You lose guys like this. But best of luck. He's going to Syracuse. He committed fairly quickly to Syracuse. I believe he's from New York also, or else he's from New England. I don't know. All of New England is the same to me. I'm just weird like that. But yeah, he's committed to Syracuse. You will not see him next year, but Syracuse, they're doing some things in the portal, man. Well, watch out for all Syracuse. They're doing some things. Next guy we got leaving Louisville is Sadiq Clemens. Man, this is a guy very tenured history with Jeff Brom and Ron English and Brian Brom for that matter, but mainly Ron English. So he was a guy that he made that transition from Purdue to Louisville in 23 with the staff. Was sparingly playing here last year, very sparingly. This year, they saw him as a full-blown interior D-line rotational guy. They did. Now they've upgraded again. That's one of those positions they upgraded. So yeah, out of spring camp, we heard we didn't hear anything bad, but we didn't hear anything good. It was just kind of, oh yeah, so Clemens, he's doing his thing. I would have expected him to kind of step up this year, and he didn't. And it's one of those things also with interior D line specifically. That's a position group historically in the spring portal where guys make a whole lot of money, and like guys that aren't even all conference level, just decent rotational guys. These are guys that typically they go quick, and for him that hasn't happened. He's been in the portal now about 2 weeks. Again, it's one of those guys I haven't really seen a whole lot about, but to be honest, I haven't really been seeking that information. But I could really see him going upper level G5, even something like lower level like Big 12. I could see that as well. But we wish him the best of luck, and sorry it didn't work out. The next guy we got, we're gonna go in it again. Another guy we're losing, and that is gonna be Darius Thomas. Okay, I hate losing Darius Thomas. I was on this platform. I said it a million times over back in December how much I loved the Darius Thomas pickup from Western Kentucky. He was a star backup. He's behind Watts. I really, really liked his game. I can't say that enough. Only thing with him, he was very, very raw, especially in pass coverage. Very raw. But as just a pure hitter, football player, athlete, he's awesome. Like he is legit. I really thought, this year he was just going to kind of use this year to integrate into the system, maybe get about 5 to 10 snaps a game, and he didn't want that. Which, to be fair, I mean, you're sitting in a backup role behind a guy that is more than likely going to be playing in the NFL after this season. He wanted to start, and that just, you're good. Like, the kid's very good. I'll give him that, but he's not starting in this room. And he committed to Oklahoma State about less than a week later, and he had Power 4 offers everywhere. This was a guy that, kind of similar to what I'm just saying. A lot of people see the potential with him, especially in the way that if you run like a 4-2-5 still, this is a guy that can slot in super easily. Like I said, just have to refine the coverages. But if you refine the coverages, he's going to be a good player. He's a very good Power 4 level player. Wishing him the best of luck. Really stinks that it didn't work out. But hey, man, if you want to play, you want to play. So yeah. Next guy we got, left Louisville. This is Woo Spencer. Woo Spencer, everybody. Another one, kind of very similar to the JoJo Stone thing, was a really big recruiting win when it happened, if you guys don't remember. That it was down to Louisville and Kentucky, and like he decided Louisville like the day of. It was like a very traditional high school recruiting battle. Really, Nil didn't do that much in that recruiting battle. It was more so just down to the schools and the situation he was going to go in. But yeah, very big recruiting battle, very big win for Jeff. I would say it's probably the the first big recruiting win over Kentucky, and now that's kind of a normal thing. Um, so yeah, we heard about the spring. In spring, apparently he was playing well. He was kind of seen as another rotational interior D line guy, maybe a little bit behind on his hand fighting skills, but nothing he couldn't make up with just his size. Um, so yeah, he never really played that much here. I mean, granted, he's still young, so I expected him to see a pretty significant jump in just his snap count this season, and obviously that won't happen because he left. But he committed to SMU about a week after entering the portal. That doesn't surprise me, just with his size alone, and people are going to see the former four-star high school kid. They're going to go after it along with his size and being in an IDL, especially. Committed to SMU about a week, and that's one you're going to see. You will see him this year. Yeah, but best of luck. And again, all these guys, best of luck. But I just feel like I have to say it every time so I don't upset someone or someone sees this and takes offense to something because that's happened before. But next guy we got McKay Guy. He's been here for a little while. Still don't know how to say his game. So yeah, I believe he was probably going to be your third string tackle this season. I don't even think he was that much of a rotational guy. And just the thing, even going back to high school, that we heard about him, so raw and so athletic. But he's only played football for like 5 years. He started playing football in high school. Super, super athletic, freak of nature, but just super raw. And especially with this isn't me just trying to gas up our coaching staff. But with this offensive line, it's so intricate on what you're doing and the stunts and the pulling. There's movement every single time. There's second level engagement every single play by somebody. It's a hard system to play in. And especially if you haven't been playing football for that long now. But he's uncommitted still. He's been in the portal probably about 3 weeks. I would expect him to be at the upper G5 level. He's kind of a second, third wave kind of guy in the portal where, okay, we didn't get one, we didn't get two. All right, now let's go with three, and that would be Guy. I expect him upper G5. Someone's going to take a chance on him based off his athleticism and his size alone. Yeah, best of luck. Next guy we got, and I don't really have a whole lot to say about this one. It's AJ Vinatieri. Good luck, man. I think he's going to go to a P4 because his last name is Vinatieri. There's AJ Vinatieri for you. All right, so that's all your departures in spring. You only lost 9 in spring, which I think is a pretty good number. I think I originally said I thought it'd be 11. So 9's good. I don't think you lost a whole lot for this season. I think the loss of Darius Thomas is a fairly big loss, in my opinion. And I think the loss of Austin Collins is going to hurt you in the long run. But those are things where, hey, man, if guys want to play, guys want to play. And I'm not going to get on you for when to play. So let's get into our additions. So Louisville, we only added 8 guys, or I'm sorry, we only added 7 guys so far. We've added 7 guys. I see positives with every single one of these guys, so I'm super excited. Let's get right into it. The first guy we're going to add is Dakari Collins. We've talked about him a lot on the YouTube channel. We talked about him a lot on the Twitter shows. This kid, I mean, I love this kid. I've said it enough. Go check out my short talking about this kid. This kid is a beast, man. So he started his career at Clemson. Didn't really see the field at Clemson. Went to North Carolina State. Saw the field a lot. Now he's at Louisville. Okay. The measurables on this kid, they stand out. They stick out on the field. He's 6'4", 220 plus. That's a big boy for a wide receiver. Okay. He is, with that size alone, he is used in run blocking schemes on the outside like nobody's business. Especially at North Carolina State, they did that a lot. This is like a guy where if you want to run like zone stretch concepts, this is your guy. Chris on one side, you put Dakari on the other side, and brother, you run the ball for 6 yards of play because you got some of the best young running backs in the country. All right. This guy's awesome. He's going to really, really be used well in that run blocking schemes. But on top of that, the kid can catch the ball, all right? Something North Carolina State did a lot with him, which I like. They used him a lot in the RPO game. They try to get those one-on-one matchups, or they try to get him out in space, or they even did like a screen with him, something along those nature, a bubble maybe, and they would just get him in a one-on-one situation where it's Dakari, and then it's a safety, 5 yards, and that safety has to make that tackle. And guess what? That safety is probably about 30 pounds lighter than Dakari. He was running dudes over left, right, and center. On top of that, though, he has a good intermediate route tree. I really like it. But yeah, this guy, he's amazing. This is probably, I would say right now. I mean, I know I'm only talking about one guy on a list of seven. This is your best pickup, and this is probably, I would even say this is your best pickup, including, well, not including Winter. Outside of Miller Moss, I'd say this is your best pickup all year. This guy, he is going to be in that wide receiver three role. I don't think at the onset of the season, I don't think he replaces Chris Bell. But if Chris Bell has Chris Bell type games, like, just the inconsistency, let's be completely honest, I think he does. And he goes up to that wide receiver two. Colin Lacey is your bona fide wide receiver one. No one's taking that role from him. But this is a guy I think starts the season at wide receiver three, could play a little wide receiver two here and there. And with him being wide receiver three, he's going to be a little rotational. Their wide receiver three, they have a very good role set, and they have a lot of guys that fit a bunch of good different little roles here and there. This is a guy you're gonna want to use in those short game situations. Like he's always gonna be on the field for that. Bouncing around, then we'll talk about our next wide receiver real quick. Next addition, this kid's from San Jose State. That is Trayshawn Hurry. Another very good pickup, and that's something that this staff did so well. They saw the clear issues with wide receiver and they addressed them. So Trayshawn, a little bit about Trayshawn. He started his career at Weber State. I love to hear that. He went to San Jose State, and now he's at Louisville, okay? He started at the lower level. He's worked his way up. I love to see that. That's awesome for the kids. So last season, he had 28 catches for 482 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's pretty good stats. You might be kind of raising your eye like, is that good stats? He had the best wide receiver in the country in front of him. So, I mean, 500 yards. We'll take that. So with him, he's more of a slot guy, in my opinion, a little more shiftier, a little more faster. I think he's going to see the field. He's going to see the field because I think, again, he fits into that wide receiver three role where it's like, okay, well, if we're not going to play Dakari and we're not going to play McWilliams, we're just going to play Trayshawn Hurry, right? So a little more shifty. I think he's pretty good in like that 10 to 15 range. Get him on one of those. He seems to do well. He has a really nice flag route. I really like his flag route. But this kid, he was super heavily pursued outside of the portal, similar to Dakari. Pretty much every team that needed a wide receiver in the portal was going after Hurry. So Louisville beat him out over Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, BYU, Baylor, just to name a few. All, well, the exception of Baylor, they're all fine programs, all good nil spending, typical top, 25 to top 35 range. So yeah, really good pickup. I really like him. Again, whenever Dakari's not in the game, I think he'll play, if that makes sense. Or if Dakari's at the wide receiver 2 role, then he'll shift over to that wide receiver 3 role. But I like him. It's a good pickup. Let's keep it rolling, though, with the pass catchers. And one of his teammates, also from San Jose State, this is Jacob Stewart. So this kid, again, very similar situation to the Trayshawn Hurry situation. So he's coming in from San Jose State. He started, though, at Sacramento State, then transferred to San Jose State. Now he's at Louisville. Again, another guy that's working his way up the ladder, starting at lower level. I love those kids on this program. I love them to death. Last year, he had a decent year. 34 receptions, 287, and 3 touchdowns. It's not a bad year. It's not a great year. It's just a decent year. He's more of a red zone threat, though, in my opinion. He's more of like that traditional, I'm not trying to compare him to this person, but a good player comp would be Rob Gronkowski. He's a very good high pointer. He's very good in one-on-ones. That's what you're going to get out of him. And anything inside of 10, he's money at. This is a pickup I like. This is something that you needed. I know, Jeff, we're not really very fond of using tight ends, but when we do use them, we use them well. So still want to get a good tight end. I would probably argue he's tight end 2 right now. In my honest opinion, I think Krisky is the bona fide tight end 1, but this is definitely your tight end 2. So excited to have him. I think he'll see a decent little snap count this season. It wouldn't surprise me. Kind of bumping around now. We did the 3 pass catchers. Let's get into some line of scrimmage play, baby. I love me some line of scrimmage play. We're going to start on the defense, okay? First guy we're going to talk about, Kendrick Gilbert. Some of y'all might be saying, hey, Josh, that name sounds a little familiar. It should. He played at Kentucky, all right? On top of playing at Kentucky, he's a guy, he was originally committed to Jeff at Purdue. He was a 4-star. I believe he's from Indy or right outside of Indianapolis. I know he's an Indiana kid, but I think Indy. Originally committed to Purdue. Jeff made the jump to Louisville. I remember Kendrick Gilbert specifically was one of the guys that was like, well, this is probably a guy that's going to join Louisville. Did not join Louisville. Kentucky got in on him a little bit first, and there was some money, and also the Woo Spencer commitment. But yeah, really good kid. He's massive, man. He has massive size. So he's listed 6'5". Last season, Kentucky in their media guide, I cross-referenced this. I had to check my Kentucky media guide. They had him listed at 270. I've personally heard from people around the staff and people around the program, he's closer to 285 right now. He is a natural nose tackle. Like, this is a guy, I think he is going to play quite a bit next year for Louisville. Okay. He played very rotationally at Kentucky. I don't think he saw the field a whole lot, but he was in a rotation at least. And this guy, I think you're going to see him here because one of the big things that Louisville didn't address in the portal was your Thor Griffith replacement. Okay. So you kept Gerard, but Gerard is very different than what Thor was. Okay. And we've talked a lot about how much I loved Thor and how valuable he was to the D line. I think Kendrick Gilbert is your guy that does all those intangibles. He's going to play quite a bit. He's going to play rotationally. He's not going to show up on the stat line very much. And I'd love to be wrong, but traditionally nose tackles don't. But he's going to be so important at eating 2 or even 3-man blocks. And that's exactly what we needed. So this is one, it gets me really excited. I think it's a great pickup. He was heavily pursued by other power forwards. It's a good win for Louisville. So yeah, this is one I like. I really like. So we'll see how it works out. Thank you, Lexington. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next guy we got here, we're going to talk about Justin Beadles. Justin Beadles, he's an edge rusher from New Mexico State. This kid, he's had a very interesting college career up to this. He's a multi-transfer, started at Virginia Tech, then he went to Houston, then he went to New Mexico State, now he's at Louisville. We're all caught up. This kid, he had 20 tackles last season, 4 of them for loss, and he had half a sack. This is a guy, he's going to be a rotational D-edge here, and it's very specific rotational. This is a piece guy, not a scheme guy, okay? This is a guy where they're going to put on the field a lot in obvious passing downs and long down situations. So think of a 3rd and 10 plus, he's probably going to be in the game. He is just your traditional speed rusher if you've ever thought of one. He has really good size for being that. He's 6'5", sub 300, has a really, really nice rip move. I love to see that. But yeah, this is a guy that he's probably going to be around that 5 to 10 snap range a game. He's going to see the field. I would love to be wrong and him to be more, but just, and I know we've had this conversation before, to not exactly hinder your expectations for the D line, but alter them, because you're losing Ashton Gelati, and it's a whole thing in and of itself. What he was doing last year, you don't see in college football typically. So this is a guy who's going to get you kind of more back on step with that more of a traditional rotational edge position. Excited for him, excited to bring him in. I think it's a good fit. So next guy we got, we're going to shift it over to the offensive line. We're keeping it on LOS. We're going to go to the offensive line. That is Sam Seacrest. And I know some of you are thinking to yourself right now, hey, Josh, that is a familiar name, Sam Seacrest. Where have I heard that before? Well, he's an interior lineman from Houston, and he did not play a lot last season. So how do you know? Oh, well, he only used to play for Louisville. So yeah, he played for Louisville. He transferred out in 24, and he ended up at Houston. Last season, he did not see, from my understanding, from what I've tried to research on this, he did not see a single offensive line snap at Houston. But he played on field goal coverage, which is cool. So yeah, didn't really play at Houston, wanted to get out. Louisville had the opportunity open to come back. He said, sure, I'll take it. He's an upperclassman type of a guy. I expect him to play guard here. I don't know if it's going to be right or left, probably whichever one is, thinnest. He's going to be deep in your rotation. Like he's going to be deep. Really good size, 6'6", monster of a man, kind of hitting on that fact that Jeff Brom loves offensive linemen that are 6'5" or taller. But yeah, great to have you back. Welcome back to Louisville. We missed you. So yeah, there we go. So that's why that name is familiar. All right, last guy we're going to talk about here in our additions, that will be Joseph Jefferson. He's a safety, all right? He's a safety. Played at Western Michigan last year. A little Maction. We always love our Maction. Kind of, into the theme of this, he is a Jeff Brom Purdue guy, and at a certain point, You would think, well, it's been a little while. Those guys should be drying up, but here we go again. So, started at Purdue. He went to Western Michigan. Now he's at Louisville. He was a four-star recruit out of high school. He's played a whole lot of football. He's played a lot of ball. Played a lot for Purdue. Played a lot for Western Michigan. But he's a different type of a safety. Okay. This is a guy where he is really good at run support. He's massive. Massive for a safety. He's got a little heft on him. Really good run support guy. He's a really, really hard hitter. But he plays his zones up a little bit. So when he's playing in the zone, he's probably only playing at like a 13, 14 mark. I've even seen him push up to 8 on film. And I'm like, oh, that's different. You're a safety. This is a guy where it would not surprise me if he doesn't play safety here and instead he plays star back. Or if they want to convert a safety to cornerback, then he would stay at safety. The safety room is already pretty big, like bodies wise. I think he's going to be a really good rotational guy. He's going to see the field a lot on like third and shorts, second and mediums, that sort of thing. Again, really good run support. He's going to be in the game, obvious rundowns. So yeah, I like the pickup. He's played a lot of football, One more addition here we're going to add into. We've already talked a little bit about Jacob Stewart, the San Jose State tight end. But one more tight end here. That is C.J. Jacobson. He's from Utah. Very interesting situation again, okay? So this was a guy that he's very young, okay? He was from that 23 recruiting class, redshirted in 23 at Utah, did not play at all last season, so it's just all kind of practice film that we're going off, or at least the general public. This was a guy that Jeff Brom specifically was super interested in out of high school. It's one of those ones where you just kind of trust him. It's an unknown for the most part. I mean, they know, but the general public, we don't know. He has really good size, 6'4". He's listed at 235. It checks out. That goes good. 3 years of eligibility. We like that. So this is a guy, he can kind of mature into the rotation. I see him more as a Kariski replacement when Kariski decides to leave. So yeah, good blocker, really good catch-up, passing ability, great size. We'll see how it works out. So yeah, more of a vertical threat guy. I'll take all these guys that played a lot of football. It doesn't matter what level it's at either. Just if you play football, you play football. But those are our 7 additions. So that's going to wrap us up on our departures and our additions. I got just a few little thoughts I'm going to point out. Then we're going to get out of here. Super easy show. Just my little thoughts I've wrote down. Even with the additions, I think we're still a little light at cornerback. Okay. As of now, by my count, we only have 5 cornerback scholarship players on the roster. I would not be surprised if a safety moved down to cornerback. Personally, it's just, it's just my guess. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All right, so there we go. Now getting into where we stand right now. A few of my thoughts. I just want to get out there. Nothing too crazy. This is gonna be pretty quick. Bullet point style material. All right. So first thing, I think we're still a little light at cornerback. I don't think we really addressed those needs very well from my personal standpoint in the spring portal. I thought we were light going into spring. I think we're still light. By my count, we have about 5 scholarship cornerbacks on the roster. Now, that could change. Certain people could be re-added to the roster that were dismissed from the team. People could come back. I also think they would probably move a safety down to cornerback. I'm just not sure who that is yet because they're kind of heavy at safety. All right. With that being said, though, I think the roster looks fine. Like, roster's absolutely fine. It's a top 20 roster right now. That's where we're at. It's a top 20 roster. When you have a top 20 roster, it comes down to coaching. So, let's see. Let's see the boys do it. The running game looks super, super strong. Yes, you did add Moss. The running game should be what you build your offense off of, okay? Your offensive line is massive. I've kind of hinted at it earlier. Every guy is 6'5 plus. I realistically see 7 or 8 guys that could see serious minutes on this offensive line. Bell and Dakari on the outside. We talked about that with the Dakari conversation. They're amazing run blockers, and they're just going to open up those wide run game concepts so well. I don't got to hit on the running backs. We've talked enough about it. You have a freshman All-American. You have a guy that probably could have been a freshman All-American right behind him if he saw the same snap count. So you're fine there. You will be able to throw the ball, and I'm not trying to shit on the run game, on the pass game as well. You're gonna be able to throw the ball. It's just I think you're so set up to run the ball in this offense. So when you do want to throw it, Moss, again, a guy that we've talked ad nauseum about. He has a naturally accurate arm. He has beautiful passing motion. He's very high football IQ. Just the biggest thing is give him the offensive line to survive, and he will make plays. We saw that time and time again at Southern Cal. You really addressed the wide receiver room here. Like, you did amazing things in the wide receiver room. You took, and no offense, you took a room that was overall bad to a room that's now overall good. Lacey, Hurry, McWilliams, they're going to be your mid to deep guys. Colin Lacey, it's kind of a hot take. I think he'll have about 1,000 yards this year. And with me specifically talking about Lacey, Hurry, and McWilliams, you still also have Takari and Bell, which I know I highlight them in the run game, but that doesn't mean they can't catch the ball. They can catch the ball absolutely fine. Not an issue. With the defense, that's a fun conversation, okay? I'm not overtly concerned about the defense. I've seen a lot of people that are like very concerned, especially with the secondary. I'm not. I think realistically, defensive line, you have a really good rotation. It's a lot different than what you saw last season. You still have a very good group of guys. I think you have one of the better defensive lines in the ACC. Your linebacker core, I think it's legitimately one of the best linebacker cores in the country. Like, no cap, as the kids say. The safety room, again, the safety room looks really good right now. There's a lot of guys in that room, and there's a lot of guys that fit in differently in rotations. But it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. I would say it's probably one of the better ones in the ACC again. The cornerback room is where there's so many question marks still. And I think it's one of the things, just give it time into fall camp. And you just kind of have to trust Jeff and Ron a little bit here. And I know everyone's already doing the thing, oh, Ron English. Give the guy some trust, okay? They're going to be fine. I mean, in theory, here, football 101, strong safety room, strong linebacker room makes up the gap for a weak cornerbacks room. 9 times out of 10, that makes sense. I'm not calling the cornerback room weak. It's just I don't think what we're doing with it is fully known yet to the general public. Give it some time. I think guys are going to transition around. You could add a guy, and we'll see how we feel about it in about 4 months. Sound good? Perfect. Sound good. So yeah, then just my final little thing, and this is something it's gonna kind of be the banner holding for this offseason. If you just call a basic level thing on the offense and you call a basic level thing on the defense, that's a Jeff and a Ron thing, I think you're going to have a really good football year. Because I think you got a damn good team, and I think you're going to have a very fun season. Just cut out some of the cute shit here and there that we do, and you're going to be fine. It's going to be a fun year. But anyway, other than that, that's going to wrap us up. I appreciate you guys for watching so much. Again, this is your boy Josh with the Cardinal Companions. Check us out on YouTube. Please share, save, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't really do this that much. So I don't have the whole YouTube smash the like button thing. I don't really know that. Check us out on Twitter also, at Cardinal Companion on Twitter, at Tropics Card on Twitter as well. Stay plugged in on the main page. We got some fun content coming for you. We're going to be restarting our Rewind series. Next game will be 2013 Sugar Bowl. Along with that, we got all our great baseball coverage. It's about getting time for that baseball postseason, which is going to be fun. And then we're still going to be doing the football thing, man. This is football. All right. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. Hope you all won a lot of money at the Derby, and we will catch you next time.